Hello everybody and welcome back to this live Saturday night. It is May 4th. So the joke is May the 4th be with you. I knew I was going to say that. Yeah, May the 4th be with you. You can't even say that without finishing the sentence. It is Saturday, May the 4th. So April is officially done. The April showers and the April rain that we say. Even though there is some rain still here in Ireland, but it is Ireland after all. So we always have rain, even through the summer. But it's not too bad at the moment. Some nice weather, and then we've had clouds today, but I don't know. We're getting closer to the summer, so that's a good thing. So I wanted to talk about technology tonight, and that's in my wheelhouse really, but not specifically the technology that I work on, you know, software, code, or anything like that. Future technology, and where technology is going in the future of kind of human existence with technology. There's a lot of stuff in here. We're kind of getting to the point in history where with AI and the future of computing and all that entails, we're going to soon get to the point called the singularity, where we don't know what's going to come later. It's going to get so... things are going to grow exponentially to a point where we can't predict what the future will look like anymore with any degree of certainty or reliability over the next maybe few hundred years, maybe even the next 50 years, who knows, but definitely into the coming centuries and beyond. I think it's not going to look anything like the last 2,000 years. So there's a video that we're gonna have a look at, just to kind of prime our thoughts on this, and again stop through and talk on some of the points. I did look at a video from this channel before. Venture City is the channel, and I'll link the video down below like I normally do. But I haven't looked at all of this one purposely so I can react to it spontaneously throughout. I looked at one of their other ones before, which is like a 10,000 year look into the future, and it was interesting, and they had some good concepts, and you know, it's an exercise in imagination. Of course, it's not all, it's like possibilities, discussing possibilities, and this one again will be similar. It's discussing possibilities, but they do try to base it to some degree on where we are today. So there are some things that you'll recognize. What I have noted from before is that sometimes their timelines are maybe optimistic or maybe not really accurate, but who knows, based on things how quickly things might change with AI, quantum computing, and all of the technology advances that we're going to see in the next number of years. Who honestly knows what the timelines will be? But yeah, they had something a couple of years ago that we're already past some of their timelines, and we haven't yet landed any SpaceX shuttles on Mars, stuff like this. So look, let's take a look at the video. It's only 16 minutes, this one, but we'll pause at any points that spark our interest and see what comes up. Here we go.
How far into the future do you want to go? It will be a future where AI becomes more human and humanity becomes more artificial. There will be Tesla bots climbing up buildings and sent to the moon. AI chatbots guide people through lucid dreams, a dream that they can control. Tunnel diggers are building an underground city on Mars, and fusion energy is used to power floating ocean cities and rotating ring space stations. It will be a world where humanity officially becomes a multi-planetary species. There will be lunar hoverbikes, astronauts that enter cryosleep, and astronomers are predicting the locations of possible wormholes. There will be time cloaking devices, where the speed of light is slowed down to create invisible time. And the advanced knowledge of black holes has created the technology for planetary data storage. And micro black holes are grown in laboratories enclosed in mini Dyson spheres used for energy harvesting. The biological...
I touched on Dyson spheres once before. A Dyson sphere is a theoretical structure that can surround or is built near a star, a sun, to utilize the energy of that star and then to be used as needed.
And information age of mankind has ended. What we have now is the singularity, when technology moves too fast for humans to predict what will happen next. Let's take a journey into the future and see what technology is waiting for us. SpaceX launches 2 starships to resupply the International Space Station. Millions of AIs are living as digital twins in protected virtual worlds and simulations, training for faster development before being released into the real world.
I know some people, this is scary. I suppose it is scary to some degree. You know, how do you feel about it? Add a comment or maybe in the chat, let me know. Is it scary, or is it inspiring, or is it interesting? For me, I've always had a real interest in technology, so it's kind of exciting to me. It can be scary if you think about certain aspects of it, but I'm typically an optimist and positive. Maybe I like to expect the worst, hope for the best, and stay on the positive side, optimistic side. But I get that some people can be scared about this. But yeah, where do you fall on that conversation?
Miniaturized organs are 3D bioprinted, used for testing individual medical responses before real-life administration. AI chatbots guide people into achieving and maintaining lucid dreams, a dream that they can control. These dreams allow a person to explore past experiences, alternate timelines, and reconstruct lost and fragmented memories. The lunar Starlink mission launches. A starship is heading to the moon and will deploy 5 Starlink satellites for the lunar base. 5 space stations orbit Earth, and 1 space station, the Lunar Gateway, is operational around the moon. SpaceX launches a Tesla bot. Lunar One is sent to train and work at the moon base. Biohackers implant DNA storage devices into themselves. Digital data in the format of binary code is converted into DNA sequences and stored on a DNA molecule that is built from scratch. 215 petabytes, 215 million gigabytes are stored on a single gram of DNA. Theoretical physicists advance the understanding of dark energy, wormholes, and black holes, bringing to life the possibilities of creating faster-than-light travel and technologies that can create, stabilize, and navigate wormholes. Technology that would be from a Type 3 galactic civilization. A team of robots land on Mars and are building the Mars base for the future arrival of humans. These robots that are fixing, fueling, and sheltering themselves are the first to colonize Mars.
I heard an interesting point somebody made recently about time travel and just looking at the folding of space and wormholes and stuff like that, which is from Type 3, which is a future technology, a future level of civilization that we could achieve if we can use higher levels of energy from our galaxy. We're currently at about type 0.7 on the Kardashev scale. So it's a planetary energy usage and ability to control your environment scale called the Kardashev scale. Type 3 is quite advanced. But one point that somebody mentioned, and I thought was interesting, it was about time travel. Light speed made me think of that, light speed travel. Time travel, if it will ever exist, it already exists. So if it is ever to exist in the future, well then it's already happening. So at some point in the future, people are traveling in time, backwards or forwards. So if it will ever exist at any point, it's already in existence, was what somebody said. Interesting way of looking at that. And just, you know, to do with perhaps man-made wormholes, if they ever exist, or technologies that, like they're mentioning there, are discovered. Natural, okay, that's one side, but if there are ever any man-made or unexplained wormholes that are not a natural phenomenon, well, who knows if it's to do with an advanced civilization like they mentioned there, Type 3 on the Kardashev scale.
Humanoid robots and human police officers patrol the city streets. A molecular digital camera captures ultra-high-resolution images of cells and tissues as it travels inside human blood vessels. Molecular electronics are created using chemical reactions and single molecules. A small-scale, permanent fuel production factory goes online on Mars. It combines CO2 from the air with hydrogen from the ice water to create methane rocket fuel, needed for the return journey. A Mark II Starship is test-launched into Earth's orbit. It is double the diameter with 4 times the internal space of the original Starship, paving the way for larger space telescopes, space habitats, and larger construction machines to be launched into space. When humanity is able to reach out and hold the sun in their hands, they will rule the cosmos. Fusion is the holy grail of energy. It powers our sun and the stars we see. More countries expand into building fusion energy capabilities, creating unlimited clean energy, pushing humanity closer to becoming a Type 1 civilization, and paving the way for energy-intensive super projects. Humanity can power large-scale desalination plants, turning ocean saltwater into freshwater. There is endless energy for space debris cleanup and space construction. Plans are created to build a rotating ring space station, and there is the threat of powering kinetic bombardment, large, heavy objects that are dropped from orbit to strike targets on the Earth's surface with the kinetic energy of a meteorite strike. Humanity can generate artificial, global climate control. Cities can be built in the Arctic, and fusion is used to cool the ground to prevent the melting of permafrost. Out in the oceans, there will be massive floating cities, and the construction of underwater habitats and terraforming begins. SpaceX launches the first parts of their orbital cryo fuel station. The starships can be repaired at the station and will never have to return down to the surface. On Earth, the robot population overtakes the human population. SpaceX is given permission to test launch their Starship City Link project, allowing people to travel to anywhere on Earth in under an hour. Tesla bots are now self-repairing and work together in massive groups, creating swarm intelligence. There are ones that can go underwater, climb up buildings, and even have adaptive camouflage. Tesla has turned into a mechware robotics company. Humans are enjoying multi-terabit internet speeds. After terabit comes petabit, exabit, then zetabit, and yotabit. An announcement is made. Humanity has officially become a multi-planetary species, with permanent bases on the Moon and Mars. People are living with brain chips, turning AI into IA, intelligence amplification, leading to superhuman intelligence and memory. And artificial intelligence is given a deeper understanding of the human mind. This is the field of science called neurotechnology. Animals in the wild also have brain chips, allowing researchers to see through their eyes, working to save species that are going extinct. Experiments begin on using brain chips on coma patients. The first lunar hoverbike is unveiled on the Moon. Since the gravity on the Moon is only 1/6 of Earth's, an electric propulsion-powered engine is able to provide the thrust needed to make the bike hover over the surface. The Float Lunar Railroad goes online. Magnetic cargo transporters levitate over a flexible track on the Moon. Companies start selling invisibility cloaks, made possible by metamaterials. These artificially engineered materials guide the path of light waves, bending them around a cloaked object, like water flowing around a stone in a stream. Nanobots assemble these complex material structures atom by atom. The cloaking metamaterial is being applied to aircraft, ships, other vehicles, and buildings. Metamaterials are also designed to redirect incoming seismic waves from earthquakes, protecting buildings and soon entire cities. The first live threat asteroid deflection mission is launched. 5 small spacecraft are sent to intercept and crash into a medium-sized asteroid heading for Earth. 100 artificial intelligence starships are launched into space. 10 will stay within our solar system, and 90 will go beyond into interstellar space. The AI starships continuously communicate with each other. They have been sent to answer the questions of the universe. Together they are creating a neural network, a cosmic internet, an encyclopedia of the galaxy. Humanity's own artificial intelligence is now an interstellar civilization. An astronaut test subject is injected with compounds, and their sleeping pod slowly gets colder. Their heart rate and oxygen uptake slow down to a near halt. The astronaut is entering a state of torpor, a cryosleep. Industrial robots are starting to move too fast for humans to see, appearing to manipulate time itself. Brain chip companies begin building and testing networks that support direct brain-to-brain communication. Nanobots work on controlling the aging process in humans by maintaining the body at a cellular level. When will humanity achieve the life escape velocity, when science and medicine outpace human aging and disease? Brain chip markets sell peripherals such as night vision, digital skin grafts, and exoskeletons that connect to a chip. The Encyclopedia Galactica is released, written by a quantum computer connected to the AI starships in space. It is a detailed map of the galaxy with predicted locations of possible wormholes. Astronomers work on decoding data sent back by the AI space network. The artificial intelligence is unearthing data of what is happening inside a black hole and beyond. But the equations and math have never been seen by humans. Some predict it could take humanity over 100 years to fully understand and grasp this new knowledge. Theories believe that the AI is understanding and interacting with dimensions beyond our three-dimensional reality, giving it a never-before-seen understanding of the nature of the universe. People with brain chips are experiencing broken timelines. Able to remember the past with no loss of detail, they are reliving past memories, changing the outcomes, and creating new storylines.
It's an interesting concept there where they're talking about when technology can surpass basically the escape velocity needed to keep a person healthy indefinitely. And the singularity, I think the year, as I probably mentioned this before, is touted to be around 2045 when the advancement of technology and AI and medicine get to a point of significant enough advancement that we're able to halt the aging process, or even regenerate or renew our bodies, reverse the aging if needed. And that really then brings a lot of questions. It's a lot of philosophical conversations, but I mean, the vastness of the solar system, the galaxy, the universe, space is not an issue out there. Maybe on this planet we might think about it, but not really still. I think the entire population of the world can fit shoulder to shoulder, standing in a few square miles. So not really an issue space-wise, but the future seems to be a stranger place than we care to admit at this point. So an interesting concept.
The simulation hypothesis is coming to life. A test crew launches on a spacecraft powered by an ultra-high-energy fusion rocket engine. It takes them 45 days to reach Mars. Studies continue in developing Kugel Blitz propulsion, focused on the creation of artificial black holes by concentrating light in a small space, derived from Einstein's equations of general relativity. Molecular assembler devices position atoms and molecules based on patterns of pre-scanned objects, similar to Star Trek's Replicator, which creates meals, clothing, and spare parts on demand and can recycle these objects. The process is similar to 3D printing, but at an atomic and molecular level. The Very Large Space Telescope Space Station goes online. Edge computing is used, processing data at the source of data generation. In the future, dedicated astronomers will complete a 10-year work shift. They will then be cryogenically frozen on board the space station and woken up after 30 years to find out what new discoveries have been made and to continue the work. Robotic humanoids are becoming more realistic with each passing year, thanks to the advancements of bioprinting and bioinks. Living cells are printed layer by layer, growing and connecting with each other, forming biological structures. People are walking around with AI prosthetics. New skills are downloaded into an AI arm.
I want the pump!
Sensors and nanofilters are embedded in 3D bioprinted lungs. Companies work on making AI prosthetics self-aware, able to catch a falling cup before the user is even aware it has happened. Powerful space telescopes and advanced particle detectors and accelerators push forward the understanding of dark matter and dark energy, creating new theories for anti-gravity technology that can manipulate gravitational fields, enabling machines to generate levitation. Tunnel diggers on Mars are connecting together craters, lava tubes, and rocket landing pads, creating the largest underground city on the planet and in the solar system. The development of time manipulation technology continues by studying the time dilation.
It's funny, this video, like I said, is an exercise in imagination, but it's an exercise in human imagination. So obviously then it's limited by the imagination of the person who created this video, or the team that created this and these concepts, based on the science and technology available today. But what I really want to make the point get across is here is once real AI and super AI starts to evolve in an exponential level and can leverage quantum computing and solve problems that typically with the most powerful computer on earth would have taken thousands of years, quantum computing will be able to do it in seconds or minutes, but as it advances, even quicker, and more complex problems. And with AI at the helm, if it aligns with our human goals, hopefully, we literally cannot imagine or envision what it will be like, and the advancements and enhancements to ourselves that may be possible. I suppose to evolve past our own understanding that what we currently have now, we may be like when life began on this planet and we were single-celled organisms, all that time that passed in between and the evolution that has happened. What's going to happen in the next few thousand years or more with AI, or even a shorter time period, I don't know, but the changes that may be coming because of that, and things that we can do may be almost as great of a jump from single-celled organisms to what we are now, and it'll be in a much shorter time frame. So pretty mind-boggling.
Effects around black holes, but people are altering their perception of time in the form of neural modulation. Brain-to-computer devices and pharmaceuticals are designed to interact with areas of the brain responsible for the perception of time. Sentenced criminals believe more time is passing. Patients undergoing long-term medical procedures are having the experience feel shorter and less stressful. A multi-month space journey is sped up in a person's brain to feel like only a few days. The average lifespan of someone born today is 160 years. Humanity has achieved Type 1 civilization, able to harness and use all of the available energy of its home planet.
In a previous video of this channel, they said the average lifespan of somebody born today, and the year was 2100 that they mentioned as well, they said was 5,000 years. So again, this is a more recent video. Perhaps they've updated their thinking based on available information and extrapolation data, which is again nearly impossible to extrapolate. But yeah, they changed it from 5,000 to 160. Who knows? There's lots of people today that are thinking that immortality has already started, and that the first person to be able to avail of technology that will enable immortality as such, to keep our biological systems running indefinitely, has already been born. Interesting. So the first person to be able to avail of that has already been born at this point, in that within their lifetime that technology will exist, perhaps.
And has terraforming technologies. Hollowed out asteroids from mining are transformed into shells for space habitats. Implanted thrusters steer the asteroid and generate spin for artificial gravity. A space probe on a path towards the center of the galaxy, traveling further than humans have witnessed, is sending a video feed of the journey back to Earth. The understanding of black holes and how an event horizon encodes information has led to technologies in planetary scale, ultra-high density data storage. Teleportation of small objects is now possible, based on...
Before this concept goes anywhere, this is again a very interesting one, and it prompts a thought in my head about the Star Trek, the Beam Me Up, Scotty, the Star Trek transporters. And I remember hearing that the theoretical concept behind this meant that it breaks down your atomic structure into the smallest parts and then transports them across space and time and reassembles them at the destination. But what's required to do that is not actually sending the existing, like the original atoms, let's say, but it has to break them down and create a copy and send that copy across space and time, and then reassemble the copy at the destination. And that means that you died in the process, and what was reconstructed at the destination wasn't the original source information or the source person or you. It was in fact just a copy, reconstructed perfectly, but nonetheless still a copy. So if you look at Star Trek at that in that way, that every time they used a transporter they died and a copy was sent, and a copy again the next time, and a copy again the next time. That makes you look at it slightly differently. I don't know if they're going to talk about that here, but yeah, that's the point I remember hearing about. It was interesting.
Famous equation, energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. The teleportation system scans and collects information about an object's composition at the quantum level. It then converts the matter into energy, dematerializing it, transmits the energy pattern to another location, and reconverts and reconstructs it back into matter. Another form of teleportation is through portable wormholes. Space probes have been traveling for the last 100 years to different areas of the galaxy. They are acting as beacons, used in experiments for creating wormholes. These beacons are the arrival locations. Advanced nanobots injected into the brain enable the transfer of human consciousness into a digital medium. The nanobots navigate the brain's vascular system to access the neural network and record the state of each individual neuron and synapse, and their connections, known as the connectome, to accurately model a person's consciousness. The information is converted into a digital model called the save point. Micro black holes are created in labs. Enclosed in a black hole Dyson sphere, the energy is harvested. With each new leap in energy production, humanity's abilities become more magical. Humanity is nearing Type 2, becoming a stellar civilization. A civilization that is capable of planet-wide solar system terraforming and stellar engineering. Able to create planetary shields, control solar flares, alter the orbit of planets, and influence the sun's life cycle. Looking into the night sky, there are now art installations on a cosmic scale. Artists are sculpting asteroids. Laser arrays and light projections paint on the cosmic canvases of nebulae and gas clouds. Celestial choreography changes the orbits of asteroids and comets into moving patterns and dances. Micro-stars are created to form temporary constellations in the night sky, becoming part of the galactic light show.
Well, that doesn't make your head spin a little bit. You should watch the other one where it goes 10,000 years into the future. A bit older, but yeah, what do you think of that? I mean, that's only barely touching on some of the stuff. That's not even really getting majorly deep, which is good, I suppose. It's Saturday night. We don't want to melt anyone's brain. but it opens up some interesting points for conversation about what will be the nature of human existence, and as we expand to be a multiplanetary species in the future, if and when SpaceX starts to colonize Mars and the Moon and beyond. And I suppose you only have to extrapolate that progress over a long enough period of time, assuming no extinction event on this planet. Being multiplanetary is a requirement to keep the human race in existence indefinitely. And assuming that does happen and technology advances sufficiently, it's going to go that way. And then like the 25th century, when Star Trek was actually set, it won't even look like that. I don't think. It'll be more advanced, and we'll be colonizing our galaxy over the next whatever timeline. But yeah, definitely a head spinner. I think one point they mentioned there, and it always interests me and I always go back to it, is how to create escape velocity for human biology and our health and make people live indefinitely and immortal. And the nanotechnology side of things is interesting. There's so much on that side. I think that when that really advances to be able to, they were talking about, to repair cells, repair your body at the cellular level. So, remove disease, having nanobots and nanotechnologies just inside you, constantly monitoring and repairing every cell in your body. And to be able to make those interventions so focused and specific as technology advances, that nothing will degrade eventually, is what they're saying. And I remember looking at some of the I think it's graphite tubes or carbon graphite, some very what are the structures? I want to get this right. Nano structures. Just there are some names to them, and I remember just an interesting point was saying if you then infuse the human skeleton with these nanostructures, you'll be able to make your bones stronger than steel, and essentially your frame, you could pick up things hundreds of times your weight because of the strength that your body would then possess. But I think that would have to relate to the rest of your body as well, right? Your ligaments, tendons, and everything else, not just your bones, your skin. But that's one possible future with nanotechnology that has been discussed. Is it carbon nanostructures or tubes? Nanotechnology tubes. What are they actually called? I just want to get this. Carbon tubes. Yeah, okay. Carbon nanotube. Strength. Carbon nano. Strength. I wonder, is it comparison compared to steel? So, carbon nanotube strength compared to steel. The tensile strength of carbon nanotubes is approximately 100 times greater than that of steel at the same diameter. There are two things that account for the strength. The first is the strength provided by the interlocking carbon-to-carbon covalent bonds. Okay, I have to go into a whole website here and it'll probably take me down. Let me see if I can find it. What is the second? Okay, the atoms themselves are wiggling around, transmitting the heat to the material. The stiffness of the carbon bond helps transmit this vibration throughout the nanotube, providing very good thermal conductivity. First, alright, there it is. Sorry, the first reason for this strength is the interlocking carbon-to-carbon covalent bonds. The second is the fact that each carbon nanotube is one large molecule. This means it doesn't have the weak spots found in other materials, such as the boundaries between crystalline grains that form steel. So if nanotechnology can eventually become a part of our biology and repairing limbs and repairing cells and repairing organs. First of all, the medical intervention for like focused treatment of different pathologies, it will be, you know, unbelievably better. And secondly, then the strength of the human body can be increased because we are very fragile. I think that's all really, really interesting stuff. I'm excited I'm curious to see where that goes, and I don't know if within my lifetime, but you know, if we're talking about the singularity of this information, this exponential information technology growth through AI in the next 20 years, around 2045, you know, I wonder, will we see any of those advancements in that time frame really make an impact to how long people live and to the medical our medical ability and biological advancements. I think there'll be a lot of merging of what they were talking about there is growing biological technology that can help, like replace limbs where somebody has had to have a replacement limb or lost a limb, or 3D printing biological cells to be used in grafts and things like this. I think that whole side of things is really interesting. Where it goes with medical technology, again, is something that I'm very curious about. So that's what I wanted to discuss tonight. Where the future of technology, I think it's definitely stranger than we can ever imagine. And you know, AI, we think about AI right now just like ChatGPT and all of these simple prompts and our day to day. I think what it's going to bring eventually is a huge change in like education, obviously information, the availability of information, how we consume information, the financial institutions, money, even the concept of money and capitalism in the future. I don't know if it'll stay the same. If and when we're able to solve all of the manual problems that we are able to automate, or talking about the Tesla bots and other type of bots, if we're able to automate all of these things, that the manual toil, the things that make it difficult for humans to survive, and remove any issues, like any survival issues that we have, like the typical things. And also, you know, that people don't have to go. We've created enough abundance on a planetary scale that people don't actually have to go out and struggle or work to get the basics. The basics are in place. So let's say 500 years down the line, jobs are not a thing. We have no reason for a human to go out and do these things because the technology that we put in place solves all of the problems that we have today. So what will be the future then? What's the future? This is a philosophical kind of avenue to go down now. What is the future of the human race and existence? What will be the purpose then when working for money, and money is probably not even a thing, but when working for that, let's say money is not a requirement, we have technology to solve the food, sustenance, shelter. Money is not really part of this thing. What will be the purpose, and what will we do with that? Maybe our consciousness will be augmented through, technology integrations. And they talk about brain chips and interfaces. Perhaps the one exciting part of it is to be able to remove cognitive decline as well as physical decline. To always feel good, to always feel positive about things, always be curious, creative, interested, enjoying it, and to have your abilities enhanced, where what you can achieve is just thousands of times better than what you can do now. So we probably, like I'm saying, the advancements is that may be coming in the next few hundred years are so far past what we can even comprehend or imagine that it's hard to predict. And I think the singularity makes it not almost, I think it makes it completely unpredictable, that we just can't foresee it anymore. And that video that we just watched is, again, an imaginative exercise, but it may be completely wrong. We can only see a certain we can only forecast a certain amount into the future now. It's like less than 3 months. It's getting to a very short scale as technology advances. How quickly that happens? Will it be quicker than 20 years? Will it be more than 20 years? A lot has changed even in the last few years with technology. You know, that the fact that ChatGPT is almost a common daily part of everybody, a lot of people's workflow. People jumping in for, you know, small problems, article-related contents, code, solving, you know, difficult intellectual problems, mathematics, physics, whatever. People are using stuff like that, and it's just going more and more and more. And that's only been in the last few years. You know, think about the next 20 years as it gets better and better and better, and then quantum computing becomes something accessible and connected to it. What that will look like, it's hard to say. But I'm excited for it. Funnily enough, like I say, I'm an optimist. I try to look on the positive side. If it all goes horribly wrong, well, then I'll be wrong. But you have to try and be an optimist and focus on the positive. Try and work towards that. Try and negate any negative impact and be ready to deal with it. I know Elon Musk has constantly talked about that we have to be really careful and make sure we protect against the possible bad outcomes that, you know, this kind of AI could have on society and the human race and all of us as a whole. And with OpenAI that he was a part of and then left because of, you know, ChatGPT then becoming a monetized entity, like a business that's just that's out for profit, essentially, when it was originally just an open source thing to help the progress and the safe progress and advancement of AI, and now it's a business. But it won't be the only business, and it won't be the only source of advancement. So everybody will be involved here, and the hope is that we can all make it happen in a safe and beneficial way for the human race, and that we don't go down the wrong path in any way. But it's interesting to watch what's happened even in the last 2 or 3 years with that, and it's a daily thing for a lot of people just to jump into ChatGPT. And I have to admit, it is really impressive what it can do and the conversational way that it can you know, present data back to you and remember stuff within that conversation and expand on it. It's really interesting. It's like having an expert in every subject right there, available 24 hours a day for whatever you want to discuss. There are limitations, of course. You know, you wanted to, it doesn't do everything. Like, you couldn't just jump in there and say, you know, write me a novel. It'll write you a basic outline or something like this. The human touch is not quite there. Maybe that's down to a business facet, and that they want, you know, different tiers to have access to things like this. So like they have the other releases, so GPT-3, GPT-4, and whatever's going to come next, 5, if it has stuff like that. And then there's Sora, which I think I mentioned before. Sora is from OpenAI as well. It's not speech to text, or sorry, it's not, you know, the text-based version where you have a conversation with ChatGPT, but it's a text to video creation. So you just we have text to photo with a lot of tools out there now at the moment, and this one is text to video, where you can just basically tell it to create video, and the videos that are coming out are almost indistinguishable from filmed footage from reality. It's getting to that level. It's getting scary. And these are the advancements just in the last few years. So think about, that's been in the last 5 years. Think about the next 50. So hold on tight. Here we go. Maybe these Star Trek concepts are first of all, only not too far away. Besides like things like the warp drive, which was discussed in another video of this Venture City one, yeah, because there's a concept called the Alcubierre warp drive, which essentially, well, it requires such an immense amount of power to put behind the ship itself, bending space and time, that I don't think it's even possible. Theoretically it is, but in practical terms I don't think it is. I don't think we'll see warp drive. Theoretical concepts, sometimes we'll say theoretical, but perhaps quantum computing and AI will be able to solve problems, not in the way that we think with what we envisioned with our human brains, but in a way that's unrestricted and not bound by the restrictions of the human biological brain and the way we think. AI won't have those restrictions. Eventually, when it starts to learn from itself and change the paradigms, it will be bound by nothing in terms of what we call thought and creativity and ways to solve problems that we can't conceive of. So that's what I mean by we can't conceive of it. It's because of that. The ways that problems will be solved, it'll be nothing like how we solve them now. So I hope that isn't too much for a Saturday night, but I thought it was interesting. I saw that video pop up and I wanted to quickly review it, and we'll get into some more. Let me know your thoughts on these subjects, and if there's anything else out there specific to those points that you want me to bring up on this channel another time, let me know and we'll try and do that. But definitely some cool stuff in there. I wonder, do you think that video represents an accurate outlook or forecast of what may happen in the next 300 years for humanity, or do you think it's way off? Let me know. It's interesting to see where people might differ in their opinions on this, because it's, like I say, it's a hard one to say whether it's gonna happen the way they outline it, or we could be way off. Who knows? Alright, well then, I think that's about it for this Saturday night. Gonna wrap it up there, but yeah, it was a good one. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully not too freaky, too crazy kind of concepts in there. When you start talking about black holes and stuff like that, sometimes, you know, the mind can boggle a little bit at the vastness of what's being discussed. Yeah, it can seem a little crazy, but yeah, I enjoy it nonetheless, even if it does kind of freak people out sometimes. So for this Saturday night, I think we're going to wrap it up there. I really appreciate you joining. Please do give me your feedback, give a like, subscribe, comment, and let me know your thoughts. And I'll see you again next week. Have a good Saturday night. Take care. Good night.